This podcast is brought to you by Bonus Room Productions and We Own This Town.
I am Jason T. Meares, Esquire.
And I'm Kelly Hoyle Bolick.
And we are Dimas Today. How's it going, Kelly?
Oh, going pretty good, JT. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You know why? We are less than a year away from the release of Bill and Ted Face the Music.
364 days, my friend.
I know. As the time of recording, when this thing is actually released, who knows? It could be coming out next week. But we are in the home stretch. This thing is happening. They're wrapping up principal photography right now.
Right. And post-production will go smoothly with no issues whatsoever.
I can't see what could go wrong. This thing, we're good. We're good. It's a done deal.
No, but really, yeah, we're excited. What's great is monitoring all of this, like on Twitter and social media. All the actors seem just so stoked. It sounds like it's been a great experience for everyone.
Yeah, the only drawback is that I'm not sleeping at all anymore. I'm like a pale shadow of myself. I'm wasting away to nothing because I don't sleep. I'm just on Instagram, surfing the hashtag Bill and Ted photos. And my marriage is really suffering because of it, but I think it's going to be worth it. I think it's going to be worth it once this third movie comes out.
Where did Daddy go?
Wasting away in the corner, like Sam Stone. John Prine will sing a song about me. And speaking of these photos on Instagram, really cool this week. It looks like Alex and Keanu did photos with every single person that was involved in the production of the film in front of the time booth. And that was just really cool.
I know a friend of mine forwarded me a couple of photos from folks on set. And then last night I'm out celebrating a friend's birthday and someone else who knows someone working on the movie showed me their photo.
Oh!
And it was great.
Yeah, just so cool. One of the neatest photos that I saw is Keanu and this guy. He looks like a large blue demon almost with he's wearing this leather apron. And it's got horns. I don't know what that's about, but I can't wait. I can't wait to see what that's about. I'm just piqued. I mean, Ed Solomon has said this one is weird, and it's its own movie, just like Bogus Journey was its own movie. It's got its own thing going, and that just made me feel better about everything, because we've heard news about the new historical figures that are going to be in there.
Yep.
We got some breadcrumbs about who Anthony Carrigan might be playing, which... you saw a tweet by Sadler, right? Yeah,
Sadler tweeting at Carrigan, just really saying it was a pleasure working with you. And, there's rumors out there that maybe Carrigan is somehow related to death. I don't know. Maybe that's just because, he's has no hair.
That could be. I mean, also Dimas had no hair. So it could go either way, or it could be something completely different. There was a interview with him on the AV Club this week, where they kind of, I don't know if it was a random rolls or not, but they did ask him about the Bill and Ted movie, and he said, yeah, I'm on complete media blackout. I can't really talk about that right now. So, which is neat. I mean, I like the fact that we know so much about the movie, but we don't know so much about the movie.
That's exactly how I want it to be.
Right. Now, hopefully in the next few months, we'll be able to destroy that for ourselves and everyone else once the media blackout kind of lifts a little bit, once we get the new trailer and stuff. But man,
once the actors just get a little loose and start hanging out, and then just Kid Cudi blabs the whole plot to everyone. Right?
Exactly. It's a shame Tom Holland isn't involved in this, because we would already know. But I'm also happy that I don't know everything about this movie. Yeah. So
speaking about things we didn't know about Bill and Ted, we've got a pretty good interview coming up.
This is a really, really cool interview. I'm so happy we were able to land this guy, Stephen Shepard. He was in the original movie, cast as Randolph. It was originally a much larger part in the film, and a lot of his stuff ended up getting cut. But he was involved in a lot of the original shoots of the movie that never made it. So we got some really cool insight into things that were different originally and how things went. We got some great anecdotes from him with other cast members. Spoiler alert, Keanu Reeves is pretty good at basketball.
Yeah, I can't believe he's good at every sport he tries. I would never buy that.
I mean, I guess everybody's got to be good at something. So I guess he's got basketball.
He's got to be good at sports and being handsome.
Yeah, and acting and being a great human being.
Rights, funding children's hospitals everywhere. Keanu kind of Keanu.
Yeah, he is. He is. So,
but kudos to you, sir, for tracking down Mr. Stephen Shepard.
He made it. He made it possible. He such a nice guy.
Yeah.
So open, so willing to chat, and we're so thankful for his time. Thank you so much, Mr. Shepard, for this, and hope everybody out there enjoys this.
All right, we'll see you guys on the other side of the interview. For now, enjoy Stephen Shepard.
Excellent!
Steve, thank you so much for joining us. So let's get right to it. How did you get involved with Excellent Adventure?
Hey, guys. Well, let's see. I was in Arizona and actually going to school at Arizona State when I heard about it. I'd already been doing some acting, and I was getting ready to move to LA and heard about this movie coming into town. And actually, the role I auditioned for, I heard you guys talk about Biff from Back to the Future, but it's kind of like a Biff character. That was the role, Randolph. It's got a big man on campus. Most of my scenes were cut, so that's why probably that sounds a little strange. I'm still in there in the movie, but had a great time. But yeah, my audition was kind of fun because it was near Arizona State. That's where they did the auditions. But the director was Stephen Herrick. You'll see, my casting director sent me down there, and I just heard a little bit about the role, and I actually did something you don't really do in auditions. But I walked in totally BS'd like he was the principal, and I was just sent to his office. And anyway, I just riffed for a while and and he thought that was kind of cool. But oh man, so many great stories. It was a lot of fun. And you guys, of course, know that after we shot it, and we never heard anything for like 2 years.
Right.
Heard De Laurentiis went out of business, and but here's a lot. I'll tell you some of the stuff that probably most people don't know is that we totally reshot. I don't know if you guys have talked about this, but the ending scene, the big finale scene in the big auditorium.
Right.
And I sent you guys a photo. The finale was actually in the small classroom.
Right. We had heard about that, and those photos are amazing. We're going to post them to Facebook if you don't mind us sharing with everyone, because it's stuff that we've never seen, and trust me, we've dug through everything we could find online. So it was really cool seeing those photos of all the historical figures in the classroom. It's just great. It's just
and they cut that scene, but they cut my opening scene. I was actually in the opening scene of the movie, and I drive up to the school, which coincidentally was my high school.
Oh wow!
So you see that?
That's great.
Yeah, Coronado High School, and it's pretty famous that mural in the front there, that big dolly shot. And anyway, at the beginning of the movie, I drive up in a Trans Am, and the two girls who are actually, there's a little bit of a play here between the two cheerleaders at the high school and the princesses. So the setup at the beginning is I drive up in a Trans Am, Bill and Ted get off the school bus, and we exchange some words. I call them miscreants. And the girls are on my arms, these two cheerleader girls. You see them in the front of the auditorium shot. I'm in the front row. So Bill and Ted, they actually ask the two cheerleaders to the prom, and they get totally rebuffed. And it was actually Buffy and Jody were the names of the cheerleaders. And anyway, so they're hanging on me at the opening scene of the movie, and I call them miscreants. They do an air guitar. That was the very first time they do it.
Oh, cool.
It's like, we're miscreants. Cool. And they do their little riff because they have no idea what I'm talking about. So anyway, so.
Oh, man, that would be a great outtake. That would be a great outtake to have. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now you can see there's two photos I sent you. One with me standing in front of Bill and Ted. They're actually standing on a curb, so they look like they're my height or something. But I played football at Arizona State, and I was pretty big, probably too big for the role. But in fact, they wanted my Letterman's jacket on me, and kept it on that the whole time. But what happens next? Oh, so then we also have in the classroom scene, I'm in that, and then we do the big finale in that little classroom scene. It was such a letdown that we actually shot an entire other week. So that was really fun because I was only on for a couple of days, and I've actually shot 2 weeks total. And then we did it. and it was kind of fun because we shot it at East High in Phoenix, which was it was at a vacant school by then, and it was an old high school. But we played basketball every day for a week. I played with Keanu and a guy named Daniel, who was a makeup artist, and a couple other guys. That was really fun.
That's great.
Yeah, he was a pretty good basketball player, and yeah, we had a good time doing that. Oh yeah, those 2 photos I sent you, I had never seen those until a few months ago. The ones in the classroom, and there's 2 shots with me in them. One out in the parking lot with me, Ox, who says San Dimas High School football rules.
Yep.
And then the 2 cheerleader girls, and then Bill and Ted. So we have a cool little photo there. I'd never seen that before until a couple months ago. So it's been literally, we shot it in 1987 in Arizona, and all the interior shots were at East High School. And then, we played basketball and all that. And then, the other thing we did is the finale, we dressed up, like I played Abraham Lincoln for my report. And so I dressed up like Abraham Lincoln. I put like charcoal. So all of the characters that were in the classroom were dressed up like their historical figure. But it was in a small classroom, and then it was just kind of they just totally redid the whole thing. And they had to bring in, like 200 extras for the big auditorium scene.
Well, let me ask you this.
Was so much better.
Let me ask you this. Was that kind of an instantaneous decision? Like you guys filmed it, and then that night they went back and looked at the dailies and they're like, we got to do something different. We got to amp this up. Yeah. Or was it like you finished filming that and then a week later you got a call saying, hey, we need you to come back in? It
was pretty much instant. Seems to me that I heard like the next day or two, and they had, obviously had to shuffle a few things around, and but it wasn't a week later or anything like that. I basically worked 2 weeks straight.
Okay. Wow. Well, it seems like it was a great decision because that, the finale that made it in just has all that energy, and I can imagine in a tiny classroom you didn't get any of that.
It was, I was having trouble picturing that was the final scene, the climax of the movie in that tiny classroom.
Right.
But, couple of other things. Let's see.
Were you a part of the infamous prom scene that we've heard that got cut?
I actually wasn't.
Okay.
We talked about redoing it, but then I ended up not doing it. I may have been a schedule thing or something. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have any lines or anything for it. But I did hang out with George Carlin at the Circle K.
Nice.
So I went to that shot, and
yes.
It's in Tempe, and so I got to hang out with him, visited with him and his wife for some time, and so it was really fun. And then another fun thing I did is being local, Jane Weedland, and I took Jane Weedland up Squaw Peak.
You're my hero.
Her dog.
You're my hero. You're my hero.
What do you say? That was fun. She was like, so bored. She had this little white dog that the makeup artist, it was a little fluffy white dog, like a little Pomeranian or something like that. And they turned the tail pink. And anyway, so we were just chatting. I was running up Squaw Peak or Camelback Mountain at the time and doing that for fun. And so, took a little excursion hiking up with her dog. And so she was really cool. A lot of fun. But didn't get to hang out with Missy. I mean, Mom. I tried to get into those scenes, but anyway, it would have been cool to have a little kind of a bit free prize or something like that to get into this one. That would have been fun. And then if they could find those deleted scenes, I wish they could have found those. But,
that would be amazing.
So you guys talked about this, So the movie, we shot the movie, heard nothing at all, and agents, I don't know what happened to it. I don't know. And literally 2 years later, I saw in the paper, and it said Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was in the theater, and that was the next thing I heard of it. It was like,
oh wow,
2 years later.
So you probably were just thinking for a long time, like, oh, this is never going to come out.
Oh yeah, we all thought that. I mean, I don't know what Keanu and Alex and those guys were thinking, but we know that it went bankrupt, and then the last we heard was they bought it, and so it was a TriStar, or I can't remember.
Orion. It was Orion.
Orion, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Diane
So,
Franklin, even when we interviewed her, she spoke about that, and she's like, she was doing movies all the time and was never sure if they're actually going to be released or not, which just seems like such a weird world to live in. I mean, if you look at how movies are done now.
I could only imagine being in college and getting cast in a movie like this. You get to hang out with George Carlin, Keanu Reeves. You're taking one of the Go-Go's on a hike and super jazzed, and then nothing happens for 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years, and you're like telling people this, and like, dude, you were lying. We do not believe you. This did not actually happen.
We did a write-up in the Arizona State paper. I don't know where that is. Maybe it's online somewhere, but because myself and the two girls, the cheerleaders, that were pretty much all other than the auditorium scene, sitting in the front row there. But anyway, we were all students at Arizona State. So I'm a year older than Keanu, but, of course, playing high schoolers when we're 22 or something like that.
Which was a very 80s thing to do.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, to have it come out like that. And I still, I still get checks. In fact, I moved and I got a notice that I've got two checks waiting for me.
That's great.
So it's kind of fun. And then just to see the kind of the resurgence and just the interest that from the movie. So seeing you guys like this, it's really so fun. It's just a fun movie.
Yeah, I mean, we think so too.
Well, hopefully our podcast has contributed a few cents of some rewatches out there.
We hope.
Contributing to those checks for you.
Next time you buy a gumball from a machine, think of us. You're welcome.
That's right. Well, if I talk to Keanu, I'll make sure.
Appreciate it.
Things if you can get on your show, that would be a lot of fun.
All right, this is a really, really bizarre and very, very niche question, but something I've always wondered, and please forgive me if this is too much of a Chris Farley show moment to ask, but when you guys were in the auditorium, there's a shot where everybody's eating pudding cups. Were you guys actually eating pudding cups, or were those just props?
Yeah, they were. Actual pudding cups.
Okay,
yeah,
thank you. I can die now. I know that. That's
the pudding mystery is solved.
Yes. And now I was in the front row, so I don't know what was going on behind me. So maybe there was, I don't know how many they got. I'm sure not every single person had them. So, a couple other things popped up. Let's see, Socrates. He was kind of a weird character, but he was a really nice guy. But I remember him telling me what a great, believable actor I was. And then right after that, Steve Herrick, the director, comes in and says, "You know what? I think you need to tone it down a little bit."
Oh, that's funny.
And I look at it right now, I'm totally overacting. It's hard to tell. But and then I think I must have looked too old. They didn't do any of the close-ups in the auditorium, when I'm talking. But they get Ox, saying that line, which I don't think was in the script. I'm not sure.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember if it was.
If it wasn't, that's one of the greatest ad-libs of all time, for sure. I mean...
Yeah. I don't think he did. He ad-libbed it. I think they might have given it to him, but my character was supposed to be one of the... because he wasn't in the opening scene. He was just had that... He came up pretty prominent, but he had such a great look for that role. And I don't know if you've had him on... Have you found him before? Because he's done really well in L.A. I can't remember his name now.
With the actor that played Ox.
Yeah.
We have not had him on. We might try reaching out to him. Ox, if you're out there, give us a call. We'd love to chat with you.
It is one of the most iconic lines from the movie, and it's funny. I watched that film Say Anything, and they've got a very similar line there, but I think it had to have been filmed after Bill and Ted.
Yeah,
so.
I think it was.
Yeah. You guys named the podcast, and that's it. But I don't know, just little fun things, because I grew up there, and I knew some of the actors. I think the gal that taught aerobics in the Metro Center Mall, in the mall, Carol's her name, but her boyfriend was my roommate right after that. But a couple other things, and I knew the kid that played Ted's, or is it Bill's little brother?
It's Ted's little brother. You knew Deacon Logan.
Oh, wow.
You knew Deacon Logan.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
Deacon Logan, yeah. Yeah, he's a working actor. Yeah, I did a lot of modeling and acting back then locally, and I did get even though most of my stuff was cut, I did get my SAG card from this, and so I was moving off to LA. But here's another little thing: is Genghis Khan, Al Young. He's a really cool guy. His knee was totally blown out for that entire time.
Really?
Huh. Huh.
Yeah, he was barely walking, so he had to kind of. Yeah.
Well, I knew like even at that point he was like already kind of a legendary stuntman, right?
Yeah, he was working all the time. He was just, so he came in and he had a splint on, I think, and so he was trying to do his maneuvers, but they had to be a little cautious with the cameras.
I had never heard that. That's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to tell you about Ox. Yeah, he's done. I think he produces the closing credits and things like that for a lot of movies. Something like Black Box Productions or something like that. But anyway,
oh, sweet.
Yeah, he had a nice little motorcycle that I got to tool around in there. But it's always fun hanging out on the set and meeting new people and there's some great people involved.
Yeah, it sounds like a fun experience. Good memories, and neat that it was all taking place where you grew up.
I did do, I produced showcases for actors and models for about 10 years after this. I didn't even go into acting that much, but I taught. That was kind of fun. Just all over. We'd bring in casting directors and agents from LA up into Seattle and all over the country. And like this was back in the day when like Twin Peaks and Beverly Hills 90210 and all those. We had just great contacts with these casting directors. I still do, really close with a lot of them. And it was a lot of fun. We auditioned 3,000 people in one night to be in one of our showcases in Seattle.
Wow.
And then we bring in casting directors and agents. And Michelle Williams won one of our showcases when she was 14.
Yeah, I think I had read that somewhere. Yeah, that's awesome.
If you did read that, find out for me, because I haven't got a call from her, no thank you or anything.
Come on, Michelle.
Let's make this right. Let's make it right.
Had a heck of a career.
We got right after the show she won. Yeah, she landed. We got her a spot on Lassie, and then she went into the Dawson's Creek right after that.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's fun. It's fun. I've been in the industry, but I haven't really done any acting. Just done some production stuff, and so still do some video once in a while, but. It's a lot of fun, though. Well, cool. You got any more questions?
Man, I think that's it. This has been incredible. I mean, like we've in these 15 minutes, we've found out like a ton of stuff that we had never heard before. So we really appreciate it. This is amazing.
You guys, keep up the good work.
What a nice guy.
I know. So great that he took the time to talk with us.
Man.
I thought it was really great that he went to Arizona State, auditioned for the movie. It was shooting there at Tempe, where the university is, to get cast in a film like that. How cool is that? And the first high school they shot it at was his high school.
So cool, great. Cool. He knew Deacon Logan.
He knew Deacon Logan.
That's great.
I know. Maybe we need to follow up with Steven on getting that interview. Huh?
Yeah, maybe. Man, so cool. One other thing I want to bring up, this is a little bit of self-congratulation for us. Over the past 2 weeks, San Dimas Today on Facebook has gotten over 1,000 followers, which is mind-blowing.
That's a major milestone in social media.
Yeah, it's a major milestone for us. I want to thank everybody out there for following us and reaching out to us. We've had a lot of requests for stickers. If you guys want stickers, hit us up on Facebook. We're happy to send them out. A gentleman sent us a picture of his awesome helmet with one of our stickers on it. So we're protecting his brain.
I feel bad because I'm like one of the people that actually don't follow San Dimas Today on Facebook because I'm not on Facebook.
Yeah, you're too cool for school.
We're on Instagram and Twitter too.
That's true.
You can come join the 150 followers we have there.
Yes. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. We're less than a year away from Face the Music.
Right.
Let us know if there's something you'd like us to discuss that you don't think we've covered enough. We've got a couple more excellent interviews coming your way.
Yeah. I think we're going to have at least maybe 2 or 3 more episodes of this season before we wrap up. With the idea that anything could happen and we could come back at any time.
Right. We might be a lot more ninjutsu with our releases as more information comes to light, as the media blackout over Face the Music is lifted. We'll have a lot more, but we do have a few more episodes lined up for this season that we cannot wait to share with you.
Yeah. And with that, we definitely want to thank Michael Leeds and We Own This Town for producing this beautiful podcast.
Yep. Want to thank Scott Bricklin and Scooby Tunes Music for the use of the most excellent theme song, Walk Away.
And JT, I want you and everyone out there to please be excellent to each other.
I promise to do that, Kelly, as long as we all party on, dudes!
Don't say Jack Shepherd, Christian Shepherd.
I'm fucked now. I'm fucked.
We have to go back to San Dimas.